foreigners, because you're all foreigners out there, to us, to Emily, to Peter. We're not here, we're living in China, and we're not trying to discover it or invent it or make it or build it. We're just hanging out here, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Today we have some news. There's a virus. Once again, we're going to be talking about it. You know, no matter how much we keep trying to get past this, we almost like every day we're like, that's our last video. That's the last one. Yay, it's done.
It's hard not to talk about, even though in Luzhou, as of 2 days ago now, I think we are at 0 active cases. We had cumulative 24, so it never really even hit that hard here. 0 people died. Those are the numbers for our city, so they're good numbers. So we were kind of celebratory about that the other day. We made a dance for 0, which we'll talk about.
And we'll talk more about dancing for 0 later on. We'll tell you how you can dance for 0.
Dance for 0.
But right now we're just gonna try and finally nail the coffin lid shut.
Yeah, everyone inside.
That's not true. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. You know it's gonna happen.
Everyone inside is dead, I was gonna say, because one of my secret fears is getting buried alive. I accidentally, there's that movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool?
No, that he gets buried alive, and it's all, like, the whole movie is he's trying to break out of a coffin.
Oh.
I'm not making this up.
I think I remember.
Because I went to meet my friend for a movie, not that movie, but I accidentally went into that theater. And I was like, I am in the wrong theater. But yeah,
all I can think of is there's that Serpent in the Rainbow with Bill Pullman from like the 80s. No,
it was in the 2000s. But, so, I'm annoyed.
At Ryan Reynolds.
It's all his fault. He's Canadian. Did you know that?
We're right there. Already a problem.
So, because to us, there's several competing emotions. For us, like, yay, we did it. I'm going back to school in a week or 2. Oh, yeah, yay, that's good news. But, it's a shame for the rest of the world. It's hitting them there. And, they seem to have learned nothing from the extra month and a half bonus they got from us all staying inside. I mean, not every country is disregarding wildly all of the public health recommendations.
Certain countries.
One country in particular, though, is frosting my cake right now. Because my Twitter feed, I constantly see, and I mute all the conspiracy theorists, because I'm not here for conspiracy.
As 𝗖𝗵cie put it on my Facebook today, those puckered sphincters.
Yeah, very evocative. But yeah, but not even conspiracy, but just the attitude of like, either it's all made up because it happened in China and the Chinese government may have massaged the numbers, or the numbers may be flawed because it's hard to get accurate numbers in the early stages of an epidemic, but they take that as license to disregard anything that they heard happened here. And that
we're actually make-believe. We are not actually here.
So
we are not here.
I did get into a Twitter, not a pleasant exchange, actually.
Kerfuffle turned.
But it wasn't even a kerfuffle, but he said something that like countered my direct experience, so I had to be like, excuse me, I am here. This happened to me, and I can tell you it really happened this way.
You're right.
And then, so he turned it around, and like we had a pleasant exchange, and he wished me well, and I wish him well. But I was trying to get across, like, China took measures to keep this from being worse than it was. And his initial query kind of had to do with, well, like, if it's that bad, how come it got contained in China? Like, because we did stuff to contain it. And I don't think he took that away from it. But at least he took away that China exists, I think. Because that's the other thing of either China lies so we can't believe anything that happened there, or even that it exists, or that it's not that bad. It's up to fate whether this affects people or not, which is not true. I mean, I think for your own health and safety, a fatalistic attitude is fine. Like, I could get run over by a bus tomorrow, and I have to, I don't sit around thinking about that fact, but it's...
I rarely think of buses, and yet I use them.
Yeah, I was on a bus. Oh, I didn't take the bus this morning because it didn't come, so I just walked. Now I'm distracted by buses.
Now that I'm thinking about buses, what if I do get hit by a bus?
You can't live your life in worrying about the bad things that will happen to you, but you can also take measures to prepare for something that is pretty freaking well documented at this point.
Especially when half of the other world is yelling at you to pay attention.
Yeah, and like Italy, I think Italy has gone to full quarantine.
I don't think that everyone here in China was screaming at the other side of the world, being like, "Listen to us, help us."
Yeah, no, that's us.
That's just us.
Listen to me.
But everyone receded into their homes.
Yeah.
Did what they were supposed to do.
I mean, there were some people who put up a fight, and some people got arrested.
Right.
And certainly there were cases where it was mismanaged and poorly handled. And tragic things happened because of mistakes.
There's no denying that. And that's
what it is. Your country doesn't have to take the same measures that China did in the same way that we did, but you have to do something.
Something, except for wait till the last minute and then like scream bloody chicken head cut off. My God, let's fight over toilet paper.
Right, and some of this is maybe all of this is systemic. Of like. You can tell people not to go to work all you want, but if they're going to get fired from their job, they're going to go to work sick. And that's a local government program or a larger government program could subsidize that.
If your government cared about you at all.
Yeah. If your government wasn't saying, well, it's fine. We don't need to worry. Maybe it was a bioweapon. Like, even if it was a bioweapon, you still have to do something. Yeah. That part is alarming if it wasn't conspiracy, but it is conspiracy. And even if it wasn't, you still have to respond to it. And yeah, there could be like institutional measures of like subsidizing people who will stay home from work, or encouraging and supporting work from home programs in small businesses that might struggle with it. There are things you could do, but they're not bootstraps things. Because I don't know how the United States jumped straight to prepper. If your community's gonna survive, because I did see someone like, if your community's out of toilet paper, you've got bigger problems than just that you're out of toilet paper. You have like societal collapse going on. But encouraging a nation of preppers is also a quick way to societal collapse, I think. I'm head up about this.
Well, it's a scary thing to, like, even if you are a person that's not prone to go immediately that way, when you see everyone else around you reacting, it's all heightened. It's any kind of like mob mentality. You're gonna freak out no matter how Zen Buddhist you are.
Yeah. Well, at that point, it's a good idea to freak out.
Yeah, and then go nuts.
And then the other thing is healthcare. Like, I don't know how much a coronavirus test costs here, but I know how much it costs to go see a doctor here in China, and I know how much it costs to get an X-ray and a CAT scan. This is where they'd scan. This is your lungs are here.
That's where the cats are.
Yeah, that's where they keep the cats. So if we had needed to go to the hospital, I knew I could be confident that we would not come away with like a $10,000 bill. And that's not the case, again, in the United States healthcare system. And healthcare being that expensive and that frighteningly variable that you won't know until you get the bill I didn't make this up. This is what all the smart people are saying. What I'm adding is, we went through this, you idiots! You should have prepared!
And I mean, obviously we know that we've got 308 subscribers. We know we're not the ones
I know,
that
this is not the pulpit that's going to make the change.
And none of us, any other vloggers, none of us are reporters,
yeah.
That's just the people. There's a whole country of people that have been saying for months now. Like, it's just, we watch TV, we watch the news, we watch websites, and everyone is saying what we said 2 months ago, but in a heightened, terrifying sense that like scares us back here. Like, you're gonna jet it back, bounce
you're
it
gonna
back.
send it back to us.
Like, Jesus Christ, we just got rid of it. Almost.
Yeah, we're on the way. It's on the way out here in China, and that's frustrating. And I mean, I'm specifically targeting the United States because that's the media. I read U.S. media, so that's what I know about, and I know like very specific missteps, like Trump putting the cruise evacuees on a plane with healthy people and not telling anybody that the cruise evacuees were there.
Because what does he care?
And now he's now that we saw what happened on the Diamond Princess, that was a disaster, he's thinking of repeating the experiment again off the coast of California. And like, it's the opposite of the right decision at every turn, it seems like. And
you're talking about a guy who's like
frustrating to watch. And it's not about politics. I'll freely admit, when he had the Apprentice show, I didn't watch that because I thought he was a buffoon. And as a president, I was very unhappy that he was elected, and I disagree. But this isn't about personal dislike at this point. It is like, we know what the right set of decisions looks like, and everything he's doing is opposite to that. And it's
buffoon. Buffoon. And yeah, he's always been a buffoon. I can't even imagine when I was a kid thinking about we would be talking about this guy. He was a joke my entire life. I was born into the world going, hey, look at this guy. He's a joke. Don't ever think or act or do anything around him. Don't pretend he doesn't exist and he'll go away. Yeah. Nope, he'll become the leader.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
And it's weird to think. I saw again in my Twitter feed an expat in Vietnam saying, because Vietnam has also apparently handled the crisis very well, that it's weird to say I'd rather be in this Asian country with like a maligned medical system than in my home country. But I don't know if it might have been easier to ride out here.
I mean, it was relatively painless. It was definitely scary at some points.
Yeah. It was not easy.
Yeah.
But doing something as opposed to doing nothing.
Even if you're doing nothing is the something, which.
Well, yeah. For the thing we were doing was nothing. Was not leaving.
Well, I mean, that's what somebody like Trump would be scared of. Is if the worker bees stop working, they stop bringing him honey. So. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's how things work. So, for us to be like, we sat at home safely eating peanut butter was like, we had a great time.
Of not going to an entire country not going to work for a month and a half. That is a problem. That is scary, but do something rather than nothing and figure it out, because getting emotional because the reassuring statistics I gave out are still true, is that 80% of cases appear to be mild. Children under 10 don't seem to suffer at all, although they can pass it along. People under 24, no one under 24 has died. But then if you flip that around too much and use that to justify inaction, then you're like, well, we could stand to lose all the olds and disabled. Which I think both you and I would have been in risk groups given our medical history. I'm
not a healthy man.
You're not a healthy man. I have asthma. That's apparently like...
I've got at least asthma.
Yeah. So you can, the point of like not letting it spread rampantly unchecked is that you need to protect the vulnerable populations. You can't just say those people are disposable. But that was my rant.
Well, and that's why we keep, again, we're not reporters. We're not reporting anything other than like what we see in our town. In our town, everyone went back inside, and your schools receded, and everybody talked on their phones, and we went to the grocery stores, and we wore our masks, and we smiled underneath our masks at each other as we all went about our business and went back inside and used our phones again. And now that the sun is out and people are starting to come back out, like there's a sense of victory that and people are feeling good, and that's what we've seen. So that's the only thing that we're really talking about. Yeah. And that's why we opted to dance for zero.
Yeah. So that was we were feeling cheerful yesterday to make this video, Dance for Zero, and it kind of came together like just as a series of offhand comments. Like I told Peter, I thought I had told him the day before that Luzhou was at 0, and I think I wrote it down in my spreadsheet because I'm keeping a spreadsheet for an art project, but still I am keeping a spreadsheet. But yeah, so I told Peter that, and then like he was like,
to my surprise,
let's make a little dance, and then I named that file Dance.
We were just on the way out of the house, so I thought like, oh, I'll put a little song, and you can dance in front of the guy at our front gate that takes our temperature and stuff like that. Like, his days are numbered. No, he's still doing his regular job, but like they've taken away the mat where the alcohol.
Oh yeah, the antiseptic mat that we walked through.
Right. So and the thermometer themselves are kind of like.
Oh yeah, that's way relaxed.
So I thought like, yeah, you can just kind of like do a little dance in front of there, and we'll come home, I'll edit it and put a little song on it and everything like that.
And then I named it Dancing for Zero, which.
That was it. It had to be a David Bowie song.
Yeah, suggested that it was a David Bowie song. And then
I actually just thought it was. I was like, is that a thing? Are people calling things Dancing for Zero? What is this thing? And you're like, I just called it that.
Yeah. But like,
lo and behold,
to my mind, it's one of those things that felt like after I said it that it always should have existed. Although right now we own that hashtag, Dance for Zero. But I realized because of the staggered nature of China versus the world, we are celebrating the end as the rest of you all are ramping up.
We're always a day ahead.
Yeah. But that Dance for Zero can be like, for us it's a celebration of that we actually hit 0, but for everyone can participate in that. Dance for Zero can be just the well-wishing of we can get through this. We'll get through to 0 cases.
Yeah. So everywhere, every city.
And so we kind of have a half cockamamie viral campaign that we're trying to start.
That we just stumbled into.
Yeah, that we realized like
we made a funny little thing that was silly.
Were we like professional PR people, we would have identified several mistakes along the way. One of them being that Dance for Zero, if this actually does go viral, has no connection to bring people back to us. Although the viral feelings of combating and beating this virus, that's enough. If that spreads, I'd like
spreading our own disease.
We can get it through it, and we'll all dance for 0. But that's maybe a noodle.